The first thing everyone will tell you about Henry:
he's very social. He very much wants to be with someone. Like his favorite thing is really just to have someone next to him.
he's a happy kid.
Here goes.
Happy as playing his Wii bowling. There is joy to be found in the simple moments.
It's like taking every opportunity to make his life happy and full of fun.
But rarely does anything stay simple for long in the Newton household. At 16, his parents say Henry has some of the attitude of a typical teenager, but the energy of a much younger child.
He's a pretty amazing kid. He's taught me so much about how to appreciate life, but it's not easy. He's tube fed, so there's preparing the food and then there's feeding him 4 times a day, which every time it takes like 2 hours. And it's just like, it's a never ending cycle of like food, changing, like it's a lot of work.
Caring for Henry is a full-time job at the best of times. A pandemic is not the best of times. Instead of 4 or 5 respite workers rotating through the Newtons' home,
now we only have 1 worker, which is my dad. Does an incredible job.
With Henry at school, his parents are able to talk more freely about the struggle, about the 11 hard months when Henry wasn't at school at all.
We're just trying to keep him happy and interested and involved when you can't go anywhere has been a real trial.
And the reality is, it's ridiculously hard. It's been hard for 16 years.
Henry can't be left alone. Feeding him through a tube 4 times a day takes hours, and he doesn't sleep a lot. Terry and Miranda also have 2 other kids.
It just cuts into our alone time.
We don't have any
alone time. Like Henry doesn't go to bed till like 10:30, and then we're exhausted.
Born with cerebral palsy and other medically complex needs, Henry started to become progressively worse several years ago. It was then the Newtons found a community, a second family, if you will, at Roger Neilson House.
I remember walking into Roger's house for the first time, and like it was like, this place is incredible. Like that snoozling room and the toy room, and like it's the best place that you didn't want to be admitted to.
We like to think as respite care for both the families and the kids. So we think that, they love to come here just as much as the families like to have some time at home to do, frankly, some, to sometimes just chores or get caught up on sleep or, care for their other children. But I think for families, it's absolutely critical that they have this service. There is not a lot of places where families with medically complex children can just drop them off and have a few days. We wouldn't be able to do any of our programming without the community support that we receive.
Megan Wright says the term palliative pediatric care can be intimidating. What it truly is the best kind of support.
Our team reaches out and, really wraps our arms around that family, looks at their individual needs. Do they have siblings? Do they have grandparents? Are they a single mom?
With some programs disrupted by the pandemic, respite care is still available, providing families with a chance to get the help that skilled and caring hands can offer.
The few times he's gone to Roger Neilson House during the pandemic, it's like, I don't think we do anything. We sleep.
Those moments Mom and Dad can breathe, knowing Henry is being taken care of by medical professionals who know and care about him.
You can't call the teenager down the street and say, hey, could you just come play with Henry for a couple of hours?
Have become more precious.
No. You're a little bit on edge all the time, waiting, like sleeping, but listening in case he has a seizure. But when he's at Roger's house, we're like, he's pretty safe.
The great thing is that because they get to stay with us for such a long period of time over many years, we really get to find out what they like to do. And I can tell you, my friend Henry loves any music by Queen. So whenever you're around Henry, he will have his iPad very close to him. And again, they get to do that with their community, with their own friends. And that's just such a unique feature of Roger Neilson House.
There's other people too that you can talk to, right? Like all of the friends we have who are going through the same thing, because they all get it. 16 years in, I'm kind of starting to feel pretty tired.
Just Brenda's been amazing throughout this whole thing and this whole marriage and everything. So I can't think of a better mom for Henry.
Henry's parents don't know what the future holds for him. They live life in the moment.
Spare!
I don't know, we might be like elderly and pushing Henry down the street.
Facing each challenge as it comes, moving on without this place will be one of the toughest.
At some point, we'll be discharged from Roger Neilson House, and that's going to be a huge blow. I never could have guessed what that place was going to bring to our lives, and it's been kind of amazing.